Now on Good Morning El Paso. New clues in the search for missing Egypt Air Flight 804. I'm Adrienne Bankert in New York. We'll have the latest on the investigation coming up. A dangerous rescue operation overnight in the Franklin Mountains after two teenagers get stranded. The latest from our round-the-clock news team. Also overnight, one person is sent to the hospital after a very serious crash. We'll have an update.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC 7's Good Morning El Paso.
Breaking news overnight, debris from Egypt Air Flight 804 has been found this morning. That's according to an Egyptian Army spokesman.
The plane went missing yesterday with all 66 people on board. It was flying from Paris to Cairo.
We will have the latest developments coming up, but in the meantime, a very good morning to you, El Paso, Las Cruces, and Juarez. I'm Stephanie Valle.
And I'm Hillary Floren. Good morning, everyone. And let's greet Iris Lopez, who's standing by right now with a detailed look at that forecast. Good morning.
Good morning. We're going to talk about warm temperatures today, but let's rewind to yesterday because I've got this great shot over near Tomley Elementary School. You can see we did have those clouds yesterday, which is why we left that slight chance of rain in your afternoon. But look at that, cleared up, then that sun came out. Well, for today, that sun is going to be out in full force, and even for the start of your morning, we've got 60s already for here in El Paso, Las Cruces at 53, good old Deming at 50. That is what you can expect if you're heading out the door right now. Seeing what's happening all around us, you can see here in Texas we have those mid to upper 50s, Flagstaff a cool 38, and then in Los Angeles you got those great temperatures as well in those 50s. Now coming up, we're going to talk about this morning. Those temperatures are warming up early, plus that warm weather remains. How warm will we get today? And then we're going to talk about those windy conditions, all that coming up.
Okay, thank you, Iris. International flights headed for the U.S. are under heightened security this morning as authorities search for what forced Egypt Air Flight 804 to fall from the sky. ABC's Adrienne Bankert continues our complete coverage of breaking news this morning.
Both Egypt Air and Armed Forces confirm personal belongings of passengers have been spotted floating among the wreckage, believed to be debris from Egypt Air Flight 804. It was found about 180 miles off the Alexandria coast. Aviation officials say within 20 minutes of the pilot's last contact with the control tower, the plane vanished from radar. The spokesperson emphatic that recent extremism in France could be to blame.
The possibility of having a different action or having a terror attack is higher than the possibility of having a technical.
While the terror connection has yet to be officially confirmed, few answers for those grieving the 66 people on board.
I am very tired.
This man changed his flight last minute.
It was planned to be flying with it, but due to a delay of 1 day of a meeting, I'm survived. So, thanks God.
Prior to Paris, the jetliner made stops in 2 terror hotspots, and there is concern of an inside job.
They're increasingly concerned about individuals who have been radicalized to the point of violence, who have joined these terrorist organizations, who are actually working in the airport themselves.
We're told that U.S. intelligence officials are looking into the backgrounds of all those on board that flight. Adrienne Bankert, ABC News, New York.
And happening today, hundreds of veterans will be riding through the borderland on their way to pay their respects at the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C. But before they do that, they're being treated to a hearty breakfast in Las Cruces. That's where we have Good Morning El Paso's Denise Olivas live from our New Mexico Mobile Newsroom. Good morning, Denise.
Good morning, and as you can see, the American Legion Post 10 here in Las Cruces is quickly filling up this morning. 480 motorcyclists is what I'm told will be expected for breakfast here before they make their way to Washington, D.C. Of course, this is an event that we capture every year as hundreds of motorcyclists make their way through the borderland, through Las Cruces and through El Paso for their annual ride to the Vietnam Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C. It's called the Run for the Wall to Washington, D.C. The ride honors those killed or missing in action. And with us today, we have some of the people behind the scenes who have helped make this possible. Walter Baker, you are retired Navy captain. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. We really appreciate it. Tell us just how long does this take to plan and to put this all together for all these riders?
Well, like we say, it took us about 3 months to work things out. And the number of riders each year vary. we were told, I think, a couple of days ago, 486 or something like that. And so that's a bunch.
It's a bunch.
And then they wanted, for example, to be over in the park over here. And we made arrangements for that. Larry did a good job in setting that up. But we ran into problems initially with $1 million of insurance.
Oh my goodness, but everything
So
looks like it's turned out.
Well, that's all right. And we got them ultimately to let us have the park and forget about getting the insurance. So we were able to do that. Hopefully we won't have any problems of any sort. Needless to say, the day before yesterday, we had a nice rain and
Yes, it makes it for a
hailstorm.
nice morning. Thank you so
It
much.
makes for a nice wet ground to sleep
that's
on.
right. And we'll be checking in with you here later this morning, of course, and other events also happening at 8 a.m. There will be a flag raising at Veterans Park, and then from 9 to 9:30, a wreath laying also. And of course, they want to thank all the volunteers, about 50 to 60 volunteers who have made this possible. For now, we're live in Las Cruces with our New Mexico Mobile Newsroom. Denise Olivas, ABC 7.
All right, Denise, thank you. Very crowded out there. 2 teenagers have been rescued after getting stranded without water in the Franklins near Trans Mountain. From our round-the-clock news team, it happened around 9 last night along the Ron Coleman Trail near Mammoth Rock. And we have new video into our newsroom as well. The 18 and 19-year-olds were without food and water. Fire Department spokesman Carlos Briano says their cell phones were also losing power, and that's when they decided to call for help. We can tell you that the ComStar team also encountered a rattlesnake when they were out there trying to find the 2 teens, but the teens were brought down safely by 1 o'clock this morning.
Meanwhile, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office and the Anthony Police are investigating a very serious crash. It happened around 8:30 last night on I-10 West at mile marker 1, right near Wet n Wild Water World. Anthony Police Chief Carlos Enriquez tells us the vehicle rolled several times and the man was partially ejected. He was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. The victim is only being described as a Latino man in his 20s.
It is 6:07. You know what that means?
Time for weather and traffic. We'll check in with Iris Lopez right now. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, we're talking about that weather and traffic on the 7th and temperature trends right now above normal, seeing those warm temperatures. For Saturday, that is when we're going to reach that 90 mark, then 88 for Sunday. But let's see what's happening here. 89 for our expected high. We are going to deal with those breezy winds, 63 for your overnight low. Las Cruces, you have warm temperatures as well. 88, your winds are going to be in the upper breezy category for today and for tonight, with peak wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour, then dropping down to 57 for your overnight low.
Thanks so much, Iris. Let's take a live look at traffic right now and show you the roads. I-10 and Schuster looking pretty good right now. No problems to tell you about. We do have a traffic alert. We can go ahead and get to that. This is for next week. The Mesa entrance ramp of I-10 West and the left lane of North Desert Boulevard will both be closed for a few days. This will be Monday and Tuesday next week. These closures will last from 9 in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Steph?
Thanks, Hillary. And we have much more to come here on Good Morning El Paso. The governor of New Mexico was here for a grand opening of a new warehouse that's bringing a lot more than just jobs to our area. And later, the damage is being assessed in Las Cruces after the severe hailstorm that hit earlier this week. It is 6:08, and this is ABC 7, where news comes first.